Okay. All right. Welcome to the Town of Stonington Beautification Committee, Monday, July 20th, 5 o'clock. I do like to start on time. I would like to welcome you all here today. I'm calling the meeting to order, but I am going to start with a roll call. And for minutes, for Kristen, Carol Nosick, Eric Beverly, and Danny Oliverio cannot make it. I believe Kit is dialing in. And I'm just going to have you guys say here. If you're here, so just kind of unmute yourself and say here. Kristen Parsons.
Julie.
Oh, hi, is this Kit?
No,
oh, it's
this
Deb.
is Debbie. Sorry,
Hi,
I can't get any sound on the computer, so I'm just.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. And for roll call, Deb Downey, our select woman, is here. Kristen Parsons.
Here.
Io Bryant. Did I mute you, Io? Io's here somewhere. Let's see. Kit Hartford, are you logged in yet? Okay, Stacy Casada.
Here.
Oh,
I'm here.
Oh, and there you are. Okay, and then Anne Marie.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. And Anne Marie.
Here.
Thank you so much. And first, I do want to congratulate and thank Stacy Casada and Anne Marie for stepping up and joining our committee. We are so extremely thrilled to have you on board. This is going to be great for Stonington. I know you both bring a lot of experience, and I am just so thrilled to have you. So welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I do go with tradition, ladies. I am going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So wherever you are, you're going to stand up. Pledge allegiance to the flag
To the United States of America and to
the Republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with
liberty.
liberty and justice for all.
Great job. Thank you. Very emotional request. As you know, our good friend Carol Nosick lost her husband last week, so I would like to ask for a moment of silence for her dear husband, Rich Nosick, who is such an amazing community member, did a lot of coaching in our area, and just great citizen of Stonington. So if we could just pause for 10 seconds and remember Rich Nosick, thank you very much. All right, thank you, everybody. Our hearts go out to Carol. We miss her tonight. So I do want to start with approval of minutes. Is there a motion to approve the June 15th minutes? Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Who is that?
Kit.
Oh, okay, Kit. Yes, I'm sorry. Again, try to say your name just to make it easier for Kristen. Thank you, Kit. Is there a second? Is there a second?
I'll second.
And this is?
Anne Marie.
Thank you, Anne Marie.
You're welcome.
Any discussion? Any opposed? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Okay, for new business, there really wasn't a lot of correspondence. We just posted our email address, which is just so you guys all know, because it just came up last month. It's Stonington Beautification. Stonington Beautification at Stonington-ct.gov. So Stonington Beautification at Stonington-ct.gov. So it's on the Stonington Town website now. So so it's a good way for people to email us, but I've also been trying to post that on social media. So, you know, if you're coming across people that want to get involved, want to volunteer, have questions, have concerns, I think that's going to be a great resource, because there's so many times that people post questions on Facebook, and it's so impossible to keep up with all that. So, and it's more professional that way. If we really encourage them to email us to keep up with our correspondence. Okay. As far as our next agenda for new business, pollinating pathways, we've really been trying to push more pollinating plants in Stonington. whether we're doing projects or we're supporting our business partners or town buildings. So even, this past month, I had a short conversation with the business owner that owns the Galino's bakery next to Stillman Avenue. I talked to one of the business owner's wife, who's a master gardener, and talked about, possibly cleaning up the front of that building, being that it's right close to Stillman Avenue. And they were so excited to do it. They've also been wonderful as far as lending their water. He has a water spigot out for us. That way we can easily water the Stillman Avenue bridge. So that happened just this month. Even Human Services, Leanne Theater wanted to put more pollinating plants in front of the building. So she allocated, their own funds. And, we just planted and supported that effort. So we're going to have a lot of opportunities like that. Stacy Casada, do you want to bring up what you would like to do at Stonington Arms and maybe have our support?
Oh, that would be wonderful. So this is our 25th year of being in the community as of June, and we were supposed to have an anniversary party, which obviously with the virus we could not hold. So we actually took funding that we had gotten from a grant from HUD, and we're building an outdoor patio for all the residents. But on the end of the patio, which abuts the woods, we wanted to put I think 4 birdhouses and then put a pollinating garden around the area for the residents to sit on the patio and look at, and they'd be able to come to. And also we're looking at possibly having bees, so that, one, it could be an education system, but also something that some of the residents who love to garden and, happen to do a lot of beautification things on our property would be able to help us try and keep them. And then maybe we could have them, make jars of honey or whatever for some of the residents that reside there. So our patio work is supposed to start tomorrow morning and should take about 3 weeks. And then we have a gardener at Stonington Arms who actually has plenty of plants to divide that we're going to use to put in the pollinating garden.
That's wonderful. I think that's great.
So yeah, we're very excited.
Yeah, I think, with this whole initiative with more sustainability of Stonington that our First Select women have been pushing for, I think it's really taking off, and even just to lend our support and even manpower or anything that you need, Stacy, we're here to help. And
Okay.
obviously, I feel like our committee wants to be more open-minded, because it's not like we're going to be able to allocate money for, different businesses, right? We're keeping it in, the town funding for state and town-owned property. But it's not to say that we can't lend support or lend manpower when needed, or even getting our student volunteers involved. I had student volunteers help plant Stonington Human Services over the last Friday. So, I think we want to build up that volunteer group. And when there's opportunities, or if there's areas in Stonington that you all see would make a really good pollinating garden, continue to take photos and bring it up in future meetings. I think this fall is going to be a really good time to plant again. It's been so impossible to keep anything watered. I mean, we just have an opportunity to plant at Human Services, but I tell you, it's been tough keeping things wet and hydrated. So I do want to bring up that I did send you guys all pictures of the gateway to Donahue Park. Forgive me, I hope you guys can see this. You guys should have all gotten this in your emails. This is
Yep.
so the Pawcatuck, and Ido, this all too well, right? So the Pawcatuck River mural is right underneath it, and it's absolutely beautiful. And what I want to propose to the committee is that there's 2 other islands. If you take Mechanic Street into that entrance to Donahue Park and back of CC's and all that, there's 2 islands that people do not walk through. And I think those 2 areas would be an absolute perfect area to expand our pollinating pathways. This does, there's a lot of traffic that goes through there. And I think it would really brighten up that area and really kind of expand, the park. So you all should have gotten these pictures. Here's another mural and the island there. So I do want to propose that we consider allocating funds for this project. I briefly talked to Eric Beverly, who planted the other plants by Donahue Park on the gateway. We're thinking if we allocate at least $500, we should be good to get that planted this summer and then really brighten up that area. So, I mean, that's what I'm proposing today as far as pollinating pathways. Does anybody else want to propose anything?
I agree. I just wanted to mention along the pollinating pathway stuff is the registering the sites with the town so that we can get them on the formal pollinator pathway registry.
I love it. You know, the only other thing that I can think of at this time is, you know, even and again, please, you guys think of something else, you know, jump in here, but the welcome to Pawcatuck sign, I still think we need to add more plants in there. You know, I'll talk about that more, but I mean, I really want to start filling up these areas, you know, so it has like, you know, definitely 3 seasons of blooming throughout the year and really pick out low maintenance, drought resistant kind of plants moving forward. You know, there's definitely some plants in there that have to be watered, and it's a dangerous site. I don't encourage anybody to go out there. I go there very early on a Friday morning. I try to get there at 6 a.m. to water that island because it's very dangerous. And people whip around that corner onto Route 1 to Mechanic Street. So it's a very dangerous piece there. So I really want to encourage those kind of projects that we're working with drought resistance perennials that, you know, we don't have to maintain too much. The only thing I was going to bring up, and not that I'm not going to ask to allocate monies right now, but I do want to talk about Donahue Park and over by the island. Again, I talked to Eric Beverly, a committee member. I think it would be great if we add more pollinating plants to that garden as well. You know, we just really want to clean up this park. I can't tell you how many families I've seen walk through that area, and between the musical instruments and the gazebo, and obviously prime location as far as the Pawcatuck River, there's a lot more families utilizing that space. So, you know, I just feel like, you know, we have the money from the town, and I want to make sure we're using it, you know, where people can really enjoy. So, does anybody have any comments? Okay. So I guess I did both items. So I did kind of pollinating pathways and gateway to Donahue Park, because that's kind of how I roll. So again, we can talk about allocation of funds when it comes up. You all should have gotten the Welcome to Stonington sign. When Danny and I were planting the pot at the Welcome to Historic Mystic, we kind of did a drive around in all different areas and kind of like did an inspection. So I did bring this up to the first select woman that the sign on the bottom, the post, it looks like there's some damage going on. I sent you guys all these pictures. So we're gonna need to find out if this is a well, who made the sign, right? But how can we go about fixing it? Not that it's gonna come out of our funds, but maybe who's responsible to fix it, if that's something that we can talk to the Historical Society about. But, you know, we just want to make sure we're taking care of our signs in Stonington. So we also, I do want to put in to the tree warden to look at those trees. There's a couple trees that I know our committee's been talking about for quite some time that they look rather diseased. So that's something that I really wanted, you know, to keep talking about. All right. Yep, go ahead.
This is Kit. I wasn't clear. Is someone researching who's responsible for the sign, or?
I had a meeting with Danielle last week. I'm probably going to do a follow-up with her. I think she was reaching out to the Historical Society, but if you have a contact, that would be great.
I think the Seaport made the sign. I don't know who put it
right. Okay.
I don't know who put it up, and I don't know who's responsible to maintain it, if anyone.
Do we know how long it's been up? Does anybody have any idea?
I have no idea.
Okay. And again, you know, I'd like to point out, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, this is Debbie. Danielle hasn't talked to us about that yet, but she may need to ask our help and try to research it unless you guys can figure it out. I know she's pretty busy.
No, and honestly, Deb, I had a lot that I presented to her, so it was like one of those things. All those photos that I sent you all, I talked to her about to let her know what we were discussing today. So yes, I mean, these are all things that we just like to bring up and bring attention to, because I know there's no easy fixes with some of these things, but you always want to try to start this discussion earlier till something really gets damaged. But
Well, this is Kit again. I'm happy to poke around and see if anybody knows anything, but.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. And the other thing too, it's like, we were kind of out there too, like, do we want to put a flowering pot there underneath that sign? Do we want to, I know we've been having discussions as far as the town taking ownership of this, which, I don't see in the near future. Because I know we all have like our, grand ideas and really nice ideas as far as due to this property. But it is going to take some time. But, I'm just wondering, how the committee feels if we did put a flowering pot there, or, a pollinating garden. I mean, it is, state property, but it would be pretty forgiving if it was kind of a pot that you could easily move. But again, we would have to make sure that there's someone that's going to water it. Any comments? Okay. So, we can bring that up next time we meet. As you know, we're building up our volunteer group. So, I definitely I talked to Anne-Marie about this when we met last week. We were so into expanding, doing all kinds of projects, but we just want to make sure that we have the manpower to help take care of it. So, but, it's good to just have some good ideas. Any comments?
No, I'll report back what I find out about the signs, the welcome to Mystic signs.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And this is Io. I'm just commenting because I had some problems getting off of mute. But I like the ideas about adding more plants at Donahue Park. I do think it would be an enticement to get people into the park and would just tie it all together.
Thank you, Aya. Thank you. Sorry about that. I didn't see you were having trouble.
That was my phone.
Okay. So moving on to future cleanup projects. I know for myself, like I've been posting that, I've been going down to downtown Pawcatuck every Friday morning, 6 a.m. because I'm watering anyway, right? So I've encouraged, Danny and I have been encouraging people to join us to weed and pick up garbage. That's the time that works for me. I do want to see more cleanup projects in Stonington, trying to encourage that on social media, trying to encourage volunteers that are out there to even organize it on their own. And it's just more or less the safety issue, right? It's the big safety issue, because I just don't want anybody out there picking up garbage on the side of the road and potentially getting hit. So there are, when I met with Anne-Marie too, she was talking about, possibly, probably our committee members, we really should probably look into vests. I have one, but maybe something more professional that says Stonington Beautification on it. So I am going to start looking into that. But, even when I am watering the island at the Welcome to Pawcatuck sign, it is not an easy area, right? So I have my hazards on with my vehicle. I actually this week brought an orange cone that I had, and I just made sure I had bright colors on. And granted, 6 a.m. is a lot easier because not, it's a lot safer. But with all our cleanup projects, we definitely have to encourage safety. And I think the partnership does work, because if you are taking down, weeding on the side of the road, you want somebody looking over your shoulder to make sure no one's coming. So I'm going to continue to share any potential cleanups I think what's hard is we're also busy. So saying a month out that we're going to have a cleanup in Mystic at, such and such a time, unless we go with Tuller Heffel and his organization, it's hard to do it just on our own. So I did reach out to him, and he's extremely busy right now. But as you know, we did a lot of cleanup projects with him in the past, which were really successful. But again, we need something like that that's more organized. So as we move forward, if you guys have ideas, if you have a date that you just want to, like myself, go down in Pawcatuck or the borough or in Mystic that you just want to get 5 volunteers, let me know about that, and I can put it on social media, and we can just have like a meeting spot for everybody. So any comments on that? You're a quiet crew today.
I think that's a great idea. That's Kristen.
Okay.
Well, Joe, I could see if our staff might do it. Like maybe we could pick one morning a month where everybody comes in, and I only have 4 people, but we could maybe do an area in the morning or something.
I love that
work. It'd be nice because then we could do it like from Stonington Arms, like Stonington Arms cleanup area or something. We could maybe do something like that. I'll try and meet with them this week and ask them if they'd be interested.
I love it. I think you hit on something too, Stacy. It would be nice to get encourage more businesses to have that. I know Ivory Ella did that. Was it last spring? Do you guys remember when Ivory Ella did that in Mystic? And it was I went to that and it was fantastic. But it'd be nice to get more businesses involved with cleanup projects. So if you guys have ideas on that, that would be great.
Yeah, Julie, this is Kit. I didn't think it was the right time to say it now, but I was in downtown Mystic over the weekend and kind of discouraged. A certain area is really pretty junky with debris and things. But I think, I think it's the retailers there that have to keep it clean. There are garbage bins, but not in this particular area because it's near the bridge. So I don't know how we would address that, but
it's on the Stonington side.
It's on the Groton side.
Okay, it's on the Groton side. I think Groton has a beautification committee. So if it's on the Groton side, but even like I think when we had the cleanup project, I think our volunteers were on the Groton side cleaning up as well. Let's definitely talk to each other after this week, see if it's something I need to reach out to the beautification committee in Groton.
Okay.
And then let me know or have photos or the names of the areas that really needed some cleanup.
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely want to keep our area clean especially with all the families and tourists that are coming in. So thank you. Great. And again, all of you, I mean, you're seeing stuff that you don't like, take a photo, send it to me. And that way we can, definitely encourage a cleanup or, talk to the powers that be as far as, getting town officials to help with that as well. So I think that's going to be, I mean, we got a great group here. And I think that's going to be important moving forward that we really encourage, townwide cleanups and getting our businesses and our residents to help. Because obviously these are tough budget times for these departments. So we just really trying to encourage people to do their part. Okay. Anything else on that for future cleanup projects? Okay. So yeah, I mean, as far as volunteers, like I just been, again, social media is such a tool. It's kind of an easy tool where I've been trying to get families to water planters in downtown Pawcatuck, weeding, the Mystic Historical Sign planter. I got several people to volunteer to water that. And that was including student volunteers, which was great, right? So, we definitely want to encourage that. And if there's other areas, like I said, that we need, cleanup projects, we just really want to push that. Not everybody has the time to be part of a committee, right? I mean, this is work to take time out of your day and sit down in a meeting at 5 o'clock. You know what I mean? So not everybody has the time to that, but we definitely want to encourage people to get involved. They can listen in to our meetings or call, or now they can watch them on YouTube afterwards to know what we're doing. But we just want to encourage people to get involved more. So, I want everyone on this committee, to reach out and let them, let them feel welcome to get involved with our committee. That's going to be my mission this year, is definitely get more volunteers, more families, and take ownership of their communities. All right. Sponsorships. That's something we can definitely keep working on as we move forward. I mean, right now, we probably have around $2,000 in our savings. $1,200 of it is allocated for the new bridge planters on the Pequot Cove Bridge. But I mean, as far as that sponsorships, they are going to help us, when this $5,000 is depleted, and believe me, we are so grateful to have that. But we have more pots. These bridge planters, they're taking up a lot of our money that we fundraise for. And, then that's 4 seasons. So we definitely want to continue to ask for sponsorships for these bridge flowers, especially because, again, they take a lot of money of what we do. And we're going to have, very soon, we're going to have 3 bridges that we're taking care of. So we definitely want to continue to do that. As far as fundraising, I think at the last meeting, we were just talking about how it's difficult to really ask for people for money. I always want to open it up to people. I think there are some businesses that are doing well. I don't ever want to not take a donation. But I think that's just something we continue to talk about. If anyone on this committee has an idea for a fundraiser, I mean, by all means, bring it up in a meeting or message me. But I mean, everything that we're putting into, as far as our savings, I mean, we're putting right back to the community. So it's all very, very positive. As far as grant opportunities, same thing there. I mean, we've been, the Mystic Garden Club and a lot of the garden clubs have been very generous to us. If you guys have leads on a grant, by all means, a lot of these grants, they're not too bad as far as filling out. It just takes time. So that's something too. It's difficult to meet like this, but we can always email each other as far as grant opportunities, because meeting just once a month, and sometimes these deadlines come up really quickly. So just make sure that if you hear of something, or you might be having a conversation with a resident of Stonington or a local business and telling them what we're doing in Stonington, and they might want to sponsor, our projects. So I do feel like we all should feel empowered to, basically say, yes, we do take donations, and they just basically make it out, a check made out to Stonington Beautification Committee, and they mail it to Stonington Human Services. So we don't advertise that a lot, but we definitely don't want to say we're not taking donations. Anne-Marie, do you have anything?
Yeah, I was wondering with the sponsors, if we do a planting, like in a planter, if there was a sign that said sponsored by, Berkshire Hathaway Real Estate or something like that, that might help them. It gives them advertising also.
Right. It's definitely something we can discuss. It's one of those things, if we can come up with a sign that is on the smaller side and
Correct.
yeah, and tasteful. If you want to look into that, Anne-Marie, as far as that, if they're cost effective, that would be great. If that's something, or we can just laminate them. I mean, I can do that at work.
I was just going to suggest we should just laminate them.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because obviously everything that we're, I appreciate that, because everything that we're putting forth, we definitely want to go into, the flowers, the plantings and stuff like that. Obviously we acknowledge them on social media and other things, but no, I think that's a really nice idea. I mean, I can easily, because we did have sponsorships with some of our planters this past spring, which I acknowledged them on social media, but it's not to say that I can't put their name on the planter tastefully in a corner. No, we can definitely start doing that. I think, yeah, I think we're all on the same page. We just want to do it tastefully and kind of not really not spend money on it if we can. But
Correct.
definitely
Just a
acknowledge our.
nice little sign, that
Yeah.
just said, sponsored by.
Yep, I love it.
You know
Good
what's
idea.
cool,
Yeah, go
Julie,
ahead.
if I can bring up an idea. I know a long time ago, I didn't grow up here, but every year I had always gone to the Como Fair and the Stonington Garden Club, and I want to say this is probably going back about 10 years, and I don't know who runs that now, but they used to have this awesome book, and it was just printed like on a copier with like a laminate cover, and it was all about like local plants in our area and different gardens in our area that they did, and they would sell the book, and that money went towards the Stonington Garden Club. But it would be kind of cool too if you could do a kids version and maybe put some of the pollinating flowers and give a little story. I don't know if there's someone in there or a class or a teacher or a group that might want to do that, but it would be kind of interesting that maybe the kids could have it, or we could sell it somehow, even if it's like a couple dollars a piece or something, but it's also a learning tool, and also you could put all the pollinating gardens listed that are around town.
No, I think that's a great idea. I think after, I mean, this initiative just came out, but it's going to be great to see how many more gardens in the area were planted this year. And definitely, I think definitely reporting on that. But Stacy, by all means, if you want to look into that, by all means, we also have the West Vine Sensory Garden as well. So no, I mean,
That's true too.
By all means, look into it. I don't. My thing is, I don't say no to
Is
anything.
there still a Stonington Garden Club or no? Does anybody know that?
Say it one more time.
Is there still a Stonington Garden Club?
Yes, very, very active, very, very active club. Yep.
Okay. Let me see if I can work with them, if I can find them, and I'll talk to them.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Julie, the other natural fit, I think, I'm not sure how the money would be distributed, but it's the nature center.
Mhm.
They have the butterfly garden there, and they have the butterfly festival, and they release butterflies, and they have
Well,
plenty of functions, not these days, but they have lots of functions where maybe we could participate. And
like at Human Services, we were going to have our Spring Fest this past May, and unfortunately, we had to cancel. But I do think moving forward, a face to this committee at these kind of functions is going to be really important. And obviously it's time consuming, right? You have to make sure you're putting aside a Saturday, to represent. But that's something this committee should be looking into. And
Right.
Again, it's kind of like the cleanup projects. As long as there's someone that can do it and stand at a table for 3 hours or something like that, absolutely, absolutely. So no, I think, because again, not everybody's on social media, and it's important to get our name out there and what we're doing. I know with Carol Nosek, she is working on those signs to put out. Is like when we finish a project to put a sign out. Where we are. I didn't put it on the agenda tonight, but we are working on that. So yeah, we got to get our name out there and make sure that our email address is out there. And if there's any potential fundraising opportunities working with organizations like the garden clubs and nature center, like you said, I think that's fantastic. And again, that's something that someone's going to have to really take on themselves. I think we're all kind of spread thin. So if that's something that, Stacy, you want to take on, or you want to look into if it's feasible, absolutely. I don't say no to anything as long as you can take it on. I think that's fantastic. So no, I'm not opposed at all that anything that's going to get our name out there would be great. So I do want to move on to the budget that Kristen Parsons and I worked on. You all got a copy of that. I think I got everybody's feedback, but that's something that I definitely want to approve tonight, because moving forward, we just kind of want to stay within those guidelines, right? That $5,000 is going to get used up very quickly. So we, as far as our mission and as far as what we went to the Board of Finance for, definitely making sure we're putting in pollinating pathways, right? Making sure we're putting in more plantings, We're going to be continuing to take care of the spring and summer Stillman Avenue bridge planters. I think on all of those, so Wesley Pawcatuck Bridge, we allocated money for the Pequot Cephas Bridge plantings. The police station, we put very minimal in there for our memorials. We only put 50 right there, but not to say as we get sponsorship, we can always add to this. Our Pequot Trail Route 1 Island project that Eric Beverly's been very generous to pretty much donate. You know, I do want to allocate monies in there because I do feel like a lot of our committee members are putting their own money in a lot of these projects, and we've been very generous. But that's something that, you know, I think $500 to allocate something that's probably costing him a lot more than that as far as changing, 4 seasons. You know, I did put money in there for that. And the same thing for the police station. Carol Nossick has been donating that. So, I just want to make sure that we're all clear that we're gonna continue to keep in those guidelines. I mean, as far as the tree plantings, we put in $1,000, but if we want to plant 3 trees, one in Mystic, one in Pawcatuck, one in Stonington, obviously I'm going to be out there looking for a sponsorship for the next one because I want 3 trees planted this fall. So that's something I'm in communication with our tree warden with as far as recommendations. So that's something that, and also recommendations on the tree, but not only that, but making sure that it's an area that there's really not going to be, too much feedback, too much push from, that's the thing. We want to make sure it's in an area that's not going to be a big, people like, don't plant that, don't plant that. It's going to be on town property. So, in an area that used to be a tree is what we're looking at. So that's one of our missions. And I'm really hoping we continue that every year, that we're going to plant 3 trees, hopefully more, but that's something that we really was important to this committee as far as planting trees. So is there any questions about the budget? Okay. I do want to approve tonight. So is there a motion to approve the Stonington Beautification 2021 budget?
Can I make a motion to approve? Oh.
That Stacy?
Yep.
Okay. Is there a second?
It's Anne Marie, I'll second.
Thank you, Anne Marie. Okay. Any opposed? Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right. Thank you, everybody. That was great. I know it's like it's a lot of money, but it's one of those things we want to be we just want to respect it. That's for sure. Thank you so much. All right. So allocation of funds right now, I'm asking the committee to allocate $500 for the Donahue Park gateway, planting the 2 islands, possibly this fall. And I would like to, I don't know if I want to allocate money just yet as far as the other parcel of Donahue Park. I want to get more discussion on that, of what the cost would be. But is there a motion to allocate funds for the gateway of Donahue Park?
This is Io. I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I can second. This is Stacy.
Okay, thank you. All right, any nays? Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
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 So, I mean, here is where it's tough, right? So the money's there. It's in a budget line item. I guess this is up for a discussion. Is this committee comfortable when we want to allocate funds, we do an email blast? As far as so obviously the Mystic sign was $150, which is being taken out of our pollinating pathways. Okay, so what is everybody's comfort level with that? Are you guys all comfortable doing it via email instead of waiting a whole month to allocate funds?
I'm comfortable with that.
This is Anne Marie. I'm comfortable with emails.
Yeah, this is Kit. I'm comfortable as long as the process is acceptable, you know, as far as, is that legal as far as a committee
Deb
doing it that way?
Deb Downey, are you there?
Yep, I am.
What's
Am I
your
off mute?
thoughts on that? I mean, because the money is there, right? And it's in the line item. So, you know, as far as the allocation of funds, does it have to be at a formal meeting or can it be through email?
You know, I can ask that question, but I'm inclined to say it can be done through email because I've seen other committees do it through email.
Okay.
You know, if it's sent to everybody and everyone's allowed to comment on it and it's already in the budget.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
I would think if you want to, since you have a budget, if you were going to transfer something or change a budget item, you know, it might be better to do it in a meeting. But I know other committees do. They say if it's under a certain amount of money, we can do it via email and everybody can kind of comment on it.
Okay. Because, you know, looking at this budget, right? So, I mean, you're looking at, I mean, they're already allocated, right? We just allocated where the monies are going to. But as far as
Yeah.
the attention to detail, you think, you know what I mean? As far as, you know.
No, I know what you're
checking in-
saying. You know, I know other committees do that. You know, I could ask June and Danielle if, you know, what they think about it, but I'm inclined to say no. You know, for you guys, you've already, as I said, you've already allocated it. You've got a detailed budget. Everyone's already approved it. So it isn't like you're saying, oh, let's take $1,000 from here and buy something totally different at a different place.
Right, right. Okay. No, it seems like it makes sense because I'm trying to eliminate a step here. And if it's something, I mean,
Yeah.
especially if an opportunity comes up and you want to move on it quickly, you know, you want to be able to just shoot out an email and say, all right, you know, we're getting all these plants donated and, you know, or, you know, I just have to buy a pot, you know, I need to allocate $100 for a pot. You know, some things like decisions have to be made quickly, you know, because you don't want to wait a month. So, I mean, I'm comfortable with it as the chairperson, but I really I want to respect everybody on this committee that everybody's comfortable with that they're okay, you know, sending out an email and just hearing back from everybody. Any other comments on that? And I'll talk to Daniel about it too, Deb, but I mean, as far as being a productive committee, I mean, we want to move on stuff. Like we want to get stuff done.
Exactly.
So, you know, waiting for a month.
And I know other committees are doing that.
Okay. All right. Thanks. I'll talk to Daniel about it too, just to let her know where we're at.
Okay.
That way there's no questions. But I think with the budget that I put out for the committee, I mean, Kristen's going to be great about watching that for me and keep me on task. Right, Kristen? But yeah, I just want to wait. I want to make sure we're respecting the budget. And like say we're over budget, right? So like say we don't have money for, you know, winter plantings, you know, we might have to take money out of the savings, you know, but that's something that I don't foresee happening. And that's something we can discuss, you know, at a future meeting. So, but I want to respect the budget, keep within the budget and, you know, just try to allocate funds and, you know, keep moving. Cause I think if we wait a month to allocate funds, we're just wasting time. So I just want to make sure everyone's comfortable with that. And, you know, obviously, you know, emails, phone calls, I think that's the way, especially with this COVID, it's very difficult with these WebEx meetings. And this is, you know, it's a great system, but it's not ideal. So, so no, as long as everyone's comfortable with that, I do want to push that forward. Okay. Any other comments on that? All right, awesome. All right, old business. I'm moving right along. What time is it? Oh God, 15 minutes. Keep me on track. You know, I want to log out at 6 o'clock. Mystic Pequot Cephas Cove Bridge. I love saying that because it's long. So Danielle has been fantastic, as the Board of Selectmen have been. I just sent you guys pictures of, you know, some recent pictures of the bridge. There's a lot of overgrown brush there. And I'm always thinking about pedestrians, right? So Danny and I were out last week and we stopped and we took some pictures. I did bring this to the first select woman's attention that, you know, it really needs to cut down. I think it's a safety issue as far as people walking. And as far as the approval process with the bridge, I'm still waiting for one of the employees. He's going to be putting the design forward, so that way Danielle's going to help us with the paperwork. So it's just a matter of getting this employee to take an hour during the day. He's a member of the Public Works team, so I did ask Danielle if it's okay, if she can ask Barbara if he can just go there for an hour during the week to measure things up, because this individual does have a job, a business that he works. So, we're kind of at that phase. We just got to get the measurements down, the official measurements, and then Danielle can help us with the paperwork. So I'm so grateful she can help us with that. Any questions on the bridge or the approval process? Okay, great. Mystic Historical Sign Pot. It's working out lovely. They're volunteers. They're watering it. There is some brush there, right? So I sent you guys some pictures. It could be privately owned, but that walkway leading up to Mason's Island light has got a lot of like weeds and brush growing through the fence. So I brought it to Danielle's attention. I don't know if that is the responsibility. It is. I think there might be an easeway. State road, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So Deb, so we have to contact the state on that. I mean,
I don't know. Let me find out. Barbara was on vacation last week. I actually have a couple other questions to ask her.
Okay. Trying to get a picture to right.
I can ask Danielle and Barbara, and you can do the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's.
Yeah. I mean, can you guys see the picture? I know I sent it to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But sorry, doing this like this, but there's just a lot of brush, and we just want to make sure that the area is cleared out. And we talked about, and obviously right now, as far as sidewalks right now, the sidewalks, obviously the Pawcatuck sidewalks are a priority right now, but we definitely want to continue to advocate for finishing that sidewalk up to the Masons Island Road. And I know Anne Marie had a question about, Anne Marie, you were talking about like some boats and things like that. They're always out there. I think that is a privately owned property. So I think Candy Palmer is definitely going to be the one to talk to about that. So I am looking into that. But obviously that area, we just want to keep it clean. We want to keep it looking nice. I think adding that pot is definitely helping, but I think the brush between, the bridge and that light really needs to get trimmed down. Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to find out we'll try to find out who's responsible for that.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, it just definitely seems like a safety issue. So yeah, that would be great. Amtrak train bridge. Kit, do you want to talk a little bit about the rep that you've been talking to? Do we have a timeline when they might want to clean the Amtrak bridge in Pawcatuck?
No specific timeline other than he said within the summer. So
that's great.
Yeah,
I think
that's a long list of things to do.
I'm sure. But just the fact that they're talking about it is huge.
They talked about it, and with my recent communication with him, and his response yesterday, I guess it was. He's still on it. I just don't know when it's going to be done. He hasn't resisted at all. So
that's great. Thank you.
Will be done.
Taking the lead on that. I think that's fantastic. Just that we have a contact is huge. Yep. And no, I think it would really beautify that area, and that would be fantastic. Yeah. That's great. So Donahue Park sign. When I say Donahue Park sign, I sent you guys pictures on this, and I'm sorry to be like throwing stuff on my screen. This is something that was donated. Going the wrong way. Years ago, and obviously we got approval to remove it. The town's going to remove it. I'm not sure when, but
we're working on it. We talked about that this week.
Yeah, it's extremely faded, Deb. And I don't mind talking. I know and we're not under new business, but there was something I did discuss with Danielle. Just an idea. But as we get things cleaned up in Donahue Park, just an idea, I was kind of thinking how nice it would be to have historical, maybe storyboard signs of the history of downtown Pawcatuck, or just or Pawcatuck in general. So it's something I'm going to bring up in our next meeting. I want to, but definitely there's so many more visitors in Donahue Park, and I know the Wilcox Park did some beautiful new signs down there. So I'm definitely going to find out who made those signs and maybe get some costs. But we have some really good local historians. So again, just an idea. We'll see if the community wants it. We'll see if there's feedback of that. But I'm just thinking of really nice, like we have the instruments there, right? We have those 2 instruments in Donahue Park. There's a lot of families going out there playing them. Sitting at CC O'Brien's for dinner or lunch, you're seeing a lot of activity now because you're outside. And but I think that park really needs to be used for what it was made for. And again, just an idea. You guys think about it. But that's something that I did talk to Danielle about. She really liked the idea. So not to say we're going to take down a sign and not think about doing something else with it, but I don't know. There's a lot of history in Pawcatuck, so I think it's something that, not to say it's totally our committee's responsibility, but I think we can partner up with the right people to really bring some positive things in Donahue Park.
I like that idea, Julie. This is Io.
I knew you would, Io. I knew you would.
Yeah, the Wilcox Park signs are beautiful, and giving some information about Pawcatuck would be nice. You have the 2 murals there, and at the like on the outer flanks of the park, and it would be nice to give some perspective of the overall history. Yes.
Yeah, so I know we're not new business, just something that I just kind of wanted to put out there, because obviously, with anybody watching this on YouTube, it's like, you're taking down a sign, but we want to advocate for better signs and more of a story of Pawcatuck in Donahue Park, and I think that would be pretty special. So again, think about it, talk amongst yourselves, but I want to move on to the gravel pathway in Donahue Park. I did talk to, and this has been brought up so many times from our committee, right? So many times. It's a tough area to maintain. It's just strictly a really, really tough area to maintain. I was talking to Danielle. It's like it's a big cigarette butt cluster mess, horrid. I found something very unpleasant there last Friday that I did have to report. So, it needs to be discussed. I mean, it needs to go back into the forefront of what we want to do there, and what's going to make sense for maintaining that and keeping it clean. So there's a lot of ideas out there, right? Whether you keep it all grass, whether you make, some areas a pollinating garden and maybe mix it up. But what I would like you all to do is go down there this summer, walk around Donahue Park, look at that space, and you're going to see hundreds of cigarette butts. It's disgusting. And as much as, and Deb, you're an engineer, and I respect that. So, I mean, there's got to be another way that we can keep that. Do you have any thoughts on that, Deb?
It's hard. I mean, yeah, I have loads of ideas, except it's the cost that,
right.
Maybe, I mean, originally we thought, we can pave it. Well, that wasn't going to happen.
Right.
And then it's like, well, they're looking, in Mystic, where they have the design of the park, they're looking at maybe like a boardwalk type thing. But again, the cost for that.
Right.
And the problem with the gravel is, I think even if you put the cloth under it, the weeds are going to continue to come up through it. And like you said, people use it to put their cigarette butts out.
And I don't know if the most inexpensive thing is just to turn it over as grass right now. I'm not sure, but I kind of want to revisit that, because like every time, going on those cleanup projects on Friday mornings, there's no way in heck I'm gonna pick up 1,000 cigarette butts every time I go down there. It'd be easier if it was something you could sweep. It's easier if it's in the grass and it just gets mowed over, right? But that stuff just sits there, and it just you can't clean it. I don't even know if a leaf blower would move it. I'm not sure. So I just want this committee again. I did bring it up to Danielle. She's very supportive. We do, and maybe we can sit down with Barbara, but this is kind of an eyesore. This is something we've been talking about for a couple of years now. It's been back and forth, but it is something that I just feel we can do better. So I ask all of you to, make sure you're going down to Donahue Park and take a look at it.
This is Io. Is there any kind of I'm thinking about like when you go into factories and things, they'll have or buildings, they'll have like a place to like put your butts, your cigarette butts. It just seems like you've got people. It seems like particularly bad there because you've got the parking lot and people are like either coming or going from their car and disposing of these things as they're going to the car type of thing. Yeah,
it's kind of sad because even if you have those things out there, they're still just leaving it right next to them. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's the answer because even like with Donahue Park, the Pawcatuck sign there, the pathway, there's cigarette butts everywhere. I mean, the town just swept. I want to say 2 weeks ago, Deb, they sweep downtown. It doesn't even, I mean, it's right back to what it looked like before. It's like until you can get the town to sweep it every week, it's right back to what we, some of us were sweeping it and some of us, the town did a lot of it. But it's every week. There's a lot of people just throwing cigarette butts out. I don't know what the answer is. It's the only thing. Yeah, the only thing.
It is 5:57. Just to let you know.
Thank you. Okay. All right. The only thing I'm going to report on Stonington monuments is Sean Mastriani did clean up and weed the Civil War Memorial in Mystic. The only thing with that too is there was, as I reported, months ago, a car that hit that memorial. So it is the metal is dented. For those of you that don't know what memorial that is the rotary in front of the CVS in Mystic. So there's Russian sage that was planted there by Sean and his husband Antonio several years back. So they've been maintaining that. So they got in there. It's kind of tricky, and they got in there and they weeded it, I believe, last week. So thank you, Sean. But yeah, that wrought iron, I think it was a hit and run. So I don't know who's going to fix it. It was brought up, but it is dented, unfortunately, and it's a beautiful, beautiful monument.
We talked about that at our meeting a little bit, and we unfortunately we think it's the state.
Oh.
So we can continue to follow up on it, but
okay.
I believe that Daniel was saying that that's the state.
Okay. The other one, which I know Eric Beverly was reminding me, Deb, last year the town went into the Korean Memorial. That's the corner of Mechanic Street and Route 1. I've been going in there and weeding when I can. I think it's just some things that maybe need to be trimmed back. So it's just a conversation that needs to be had. As far as, is the town gonna like trim those things every year? Because it's a beautiful area, and Barbara had somebody landscape it, and obviously we're down there watering the memorial pots and stuff like that, the pots in front of the memorial. But that's something that we just don't want those plants to get too overgrown.
Yep.
So I don't know if that's a conversation I can have with Danielle and Barbara, but that's going to have to get cleaned up again.
Yeah, and I can mention it as well. So
okay, great.
I don't know the answer right now to who.
Okay, awesome.
I would think that is a town issue, but I don't know that for sure.
Okay, great. So last but very important, Kristen Parson is moving forward with Beautification Awards and to talk about possibly a scarecrow contest for the town of Stonington for the fall, and also a holiday beautification contest for the winter. And I just mentioned to her about maybe partnering up with Human Services that would help with advertising and also helping with registration. So Kristen, do you want to talk on that a little bit as far as what you're envisioning?
Yeah, so obviously was something that we started talking about pre-COVID. So trying to adapt to make it COVID friendly. So looking at it really being a virtual thing at this point. But yes, we'll hopefully be partnering with Human Services to help with organizing the registration. And then Julie and I had talked about potentially obviously doing it as like a free event, but potentially asking for donations from those who participate. And then that money could then go to continuing beautification projects in the town. And then advertisement with a deadline to register, and then a deadline by which your scarecrow kind of has to be ready. Potentially images that get put online so that people can see them without going to like a group or a public space. And then the town can vote. And then potentially I have found these really cute scarecrow trophies that we could have a business winner and then a residential winner and a runner up.
I love this idea, and especially now that, you know, families are kind of stuck at home and trying to come up with fun activities with their families, or even just businesses wanting to, you know, get involved. I think this is going to be a really great project. It's going to be really positive for Stonington. So, Kristen, thank you for taking that on, and we're definitely going to make sure we get going on this soon, so that way we can get it advertised. Any questions? No? Okay. Kristen, are you on mute? Are you muting yourself there? Okay.
Yeah, I was chewing.
It's like all of a sudden it got quiet, got really quiet. Okay, so no, I think that's something, again, you guys have ideas on things, by all means, bring it up. It is one of those things I want to empower you guys and, you know, take things on. And we're really trying, I mean, we've been doing this for 4 years now, right, Io? Io's original member. You know, so it's something that we want to continue, and I love that we have new blood, I like to call it, on our committee, so that way we're not getting stagnant, right? We're going to be doing new things, so I appreciate that. We do move on to comments of the public. I don't know if anybody's out there. Did I miss anybody? Or Deb, do you want to say anything?
No, I'll respect the fact that it's about 6. As I said, we did discuss all these things I've written down, you know, to ask Danielle and Barbara, and I'll follow up with you.
Love it. I love it. No, thank you so much. And again, I'm really excited about our 2 new committee members. You know, ladies, I know you're going to bring a lot to this committee. By all means, reach out to me anytime. Work is starting to get a little crazy, so it is sometimes hard for me to respond to emails, sometimes text messages too during the workday. Things are getting quite busy at Human Services. So, but no, I just appreciate all you, this whole committee. Everybody is really working hard. Danny's on vacation, and Carol, as you know, lost her husband, and Eric is just straight out working. So, but no, we got a lot of talent on this committee. I think we're going to make some really positive things happen in Stonington this year. So again, as you're out, take photos, have ideas, talk to people, encourage people to get involved, encourage people to volunteer. And I don't know what everybody's thoughts is for August. I'm willing to host a meeting in August, but if this is getting to be a little stressful and too much, we can skip August and move to September. Any thoughts on that? Do you guys want to meet in August?
I'd like to.
Okay. Okay. We can do that. We can do that.
I think, by August as well, we should have everything finalized for at least the Scarecrow event.
Okay.
Let's be able to
All right. All right. And you know, honestly, so I'll probably have maybe I'll have those signs too. I'll hear from the woman that's designing those for us, as far as the I'm sorry, the signs to go on projects are long. So the 3rd Monday in August, I'm just looking at, is August 17th. It's Monday the 5th. Excuse me, Monday at 5 o'clock. Sorry, I'm getting tired. But unless anybody has anything to add, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn. Is there a motion to adjourn? You got to unmute yourself. Anyone?
To adjourn.
Anyone? Okay, is there a second?
I
I'll
second
second Io.
Hillary.
Yay! Oh my God, everyone's jumping at that one. Okay, that was I. Okay. All right, you got all that, Kristen?
I got it.
All right, everybody, thank you so much. I appreciate you logging in tonight. I know it's a little bit of a pain, but we appreciate the town doing this for us. So thank you. And Deb Downey, thank you very much for logging in.
You're welcome. Good to talk
All
to
right,
you.
have a great
All right.
night, everybody. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.